It's the end of an era. They were actually able to shut down StreamEast. I never thought I'd see the day where they actually shut it down. StreamEast of all places. Real ones know that StreamEast has been on the decline for a while. The streams weren't working right or were just randomly cut off. It varied on its effects, but it definitely wasn't the StreamEast of old. The thing is, it still worked and helped a lot of people watch sports, and in the case of this channel, fights for free. And sure, real ones know certain things, but the fact that StreamEast has actually been taken down is insane. Running a human trafficking ring and not being able to find certain files is one thing, but heaven forbid you watch football and don't pay $11.99 for a Paramount subscription. I bet that Dana's out there rubbing his hands together thinking that he's gonna get massive pay-per-view numbers now that a singular site that everyone almost doesn't use anymore will now be forced to pay $80 to watch fucking Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. Guys, this is a badass fight here. In your dreams, bald man. In the wise words of MMA guru.
Then, we get a shit card after that, as you guys would call it.
And it is free. It's free. It's a free card. But hey, DJ, if you've been an MMA fan long enough and you know what you know, and if you know the real MMA streets, and you know the real MMA streets, you'll know every card is free, Demetrius Johnson. If you know, you know, okay?
I've never bought or intended to buy a pay-per-view. $80 is outrageous, and especially in today's age and day. Especially with how easy it is to stream these cards now. Only one in recent memory that has been worth that money is probably UFC 300, but that's just looking at the card as a whole. $80 for just the main card. 5 fights is still outrageous, and there's still a Bo Nickel fight in there, man. The good thing is that the Paramount deal that the UFC signed with them seems to be pretty good. For those who don't know, the UFC has just signed a $7.7 billion deal to allow them to stream the entire UFC catalog on Paramount Plus for 7 years. Mind you, that's $1.1 billion for 7 years. And this was right after that South Park $1 billion deal, which also went down with Paramount. This means that the first pay-per-view in January, UFC 324, will be available on Paramount Plus for all of its subscribers. This is honestly great, and not having to watch UFC at 480p is a great bonus. Thing is, this all seems to be way good to be true. They are saying that they won't pump up the prices of the subscriptions or add an extra fee, but I don't know, man. I still don't trust. If those premium tiers have no ads, then I hope that actually means there aren't actually any ads and I can actually see the cage and corner as though the commentary desk is saying in between fights and rounds, instead of the same Dustin Poirier ad for the 4th fucking time in a row. Now, I doubt that's actually gonna happen, or they'll probably just make you pay for a premier tier or something like that. And Jesus, man, call me paranoid, but I think it's gonna be something even more scummy than that. And I don't blame anyone for illegally streaming these fights, man, because at the end of the day, nothing really changes. I don't blame anyone for not even being able to be bothered to make a whole new account and setting it up. Everything's a damn subscription nowadays too. And man, $8 to $12, that's money, man. That's enough for food, a little bit of gas, an hour or two for minimum wage. I'm a college student, and trust me, I would know some people. $8 to $12 is kind of life-changing money. I already have a Paramount Plus subscription, so fuck it, why not? And I feel like that's how a lot of the fan base does feel as well. I do want to give my money to the company and the fighters, and hopefully they can get better fighter pay, and hopefully the sport can grow even better and higher. I just really hope they actually use this $1 billion deal to make the sport better, which is way more than they were making with the ESPN deal. $1.1 billion for 7 years is insane. Would it also be crazy to ask for just a bit more promotion then? Did you guys see how Dana White announced the UFC 22 at Madison Square Garden? He opened up the video with let's just get this over with. Like, Jesus, man, he just announced one of the most entertaining fights of the year and some of the most important fights in years. Like, can't you just fake some enthusiasm, man? Do some promotion. You're the fucking promoter. No issue promoting Canelo versus Crawford, though.
But Dana is promoting Canelo versus Crawford as the UFC president.
Yeah.
That's a fucking traitor. That's a traitor right there to the UFC.
Yeah.
I honestly believe this. Fire Dana White and put me in the job.
Man, looking at the past and seeing actual trailers for UFC cards and world press tours was insane. And there's passion and hype behind all of these things. Now, I'm not asking for this every single time there's a numbered card, but would it kill the UFC to just put these guys in front of a green screen for a bit? You know, something like some short trailers and clips that appear on TV, YouTube or something like that I can quickly send to my friends and hype them up and convince them to check it out. Like, Jesus, man, half my social media feed is MMA stuff, yet I barely get any promotion and ads for upcoming fights.
Can you see me now? Can you see me now?
I get more trailers in my feed for PFL fights than UFC. And I feel because now of this new Paramount deal that's coming up, I feel because of their viewer base, they won't have to resort to sketchy websites or paying $80. So you bet that viewership is going to skyrocket. And I can't wait. I think it's genuinely a great thing, but the UFC recently has gone away with just doing the bare minimum, and at times barely even trying. And because of this massive increase in viewership, I'm afraid they're going to just stop caring about stacking these cards. Dana did say that he won't let that happen, and he will actually try to stack them even harder because of the bigger viewer base, which is right. He should do that. But he isn't even doing that now, right when the Paramount deal is about to close. Like, what the hell, man? Some of these upcoming cards and fight nights seem pretty decent and pretty good, but we had to suffer all of 2024 and the first half of this year with top-heavy cards, with a good main event and maybe a co-main, and then the rest of them are prelim level fights. Best card this year, in my opinion, has been 314. Banger fights and even banger prelims. Bunch of high-level fights, storylines, and volume of fights. And all of those fights really did show up and put on one hell of a show. Then we got something like UFC 321, which is coming up, which I'm just going to put on my phone at work on the side and just go on a bathroom break for the main event, because I know that shit's only going to be like 2 minutes. And how will I be watching? Well, that's a secret, but you bet your ass I'm not paying for it. And I feel like I do have to say, just in case someone doesn't know, but do not share your links and websites in public. No posting it, no sharing it. Only share it with your friends and close ones. Sure, it sucks not everyone can have it and know about it, but we, yes, we need to gatekeep those sites. And for those who don't know or don't have a link, can't find one now that STREAMEAST is down, all I gotta say is that genuinely it isn't that hard to find. And it's really easy. You're smart. I believe in you. Shout out to the real ones like the streamers, who are the ones that are truly carrying the fan base and creating and sustaining millions of fans. Not to mention that they actually have to pay for the pay-per-view. The UFC should have paid these guys. But yeah, I guess we just have to wait and see. There have been other streams that have been shut down before, but of course, none at this level. I really don't think much will come out of this, to be honest, as there are still a bunch of stream sites everyone uses. And it's not like they're going to be coming for the viewers themselves and we're going to end up in federal prison. Could you imagine though? Literally 1984. Anyways, what do you guys think? Is the shutdown of STREAMEAST good for us fans? What do you guys think? Is the shutdown of STREAMEAST good for us fans somehow, you company scab? What do you think of the Paramount deal? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.